BusinessJournalDaily.com 3 Minutes With is brought to you by...
I want to retire knowing we did it right. We want
to know that it's been worth something.
It's worth everything.
Be intentional about your worth. Farmers National Bank Wealth Management.
I was down at Youngstown State last Friday, saw some new building going up, a lot of investment going into Youngstown State. The Lordstown Motors, I think that's fantastic news, and maybe positions this area for a bigger role in electric cars. Another power plant, $1 billion going in there. The TGX facility. There seems to be a lot of momentum in the Youngstown area to keep the economy going. Despite the bad news, we think we're positioned pretty well going into 2020. The point was, when you turn on TV, we seem to hear a lot of negative things going on, and the news lately especially has been really focusing on those negative things. With the election coming up, the impeachment, the Russiagate, a lot of things that I mentioned in the speech, I think that's more of a focus than the positives going on in the economy. So I just wanted to spend a little time today kind of refocusing that a little bit and bringing people back to the fact that the fundamentals of the economy are pretty good, especially when you're talking about the consumer. If you look at another indicator from this real median household income measure, when you look at the economy, it tends to turn negative before a recession. So real median household income is still rising. And as I mentioned during the speech, that typically correlates with a pretty good stock market, and it typically correlates with good economic growth. So if we continue to see real median household income increase, that's going to make us pretty comfortable that we're going to continue to see GDP growth and possibly a good stock market. The misery index was something that was new that I introduced this year, and again, that just being inflation plus unemployment. And as I mentioned, when that index hits the first decile, the stock market tends to do better than average in the next 3, 6, and 12 months. So very positive things. We do wonder if the Purchasing Managers Index was affected by the GM strike back in September. So we have seen some weakness there. I would say we see more weakness overseas than in the U.S., especially in Europe for some of the manufacturing. But these things tend to be cyclical, and we do see some positives going into next year. So we're not as concerned as maybe some people would be. The effect of the trade war probably has slowed things down a bit. But I think it's a positive thing that we will get through, and it will add momentum to the economy when we do get through it. So, it was a necessary thing. I think when we talked about it last year, the trade deficit with China was probably unsustainable. And once we can figure that out and make trade fair, I think that'll be good for all parties.
BusinessJournalDaily.com 3 Minutes With is brought to you by...
I want to retire knowing we did it right. We want
to know that it's been worth something.
It's worth everything.
Be intentional about your worth. Farmers National Bank Wealth Management.